Hi, Gemini family. I am so honored to sit down with you today. This is an interesting time of year for you. It hits into your heart center. Libra season is fifth house energy for you, especially if you're a Gemini rising. We're in your fifth house of the heart, of creativity, of where we exude from here. And the heart chakra is such an important one because the more and more we learn about vibration and we learn about how we create these fields, the more we learn that the heart is one of the most important ones. So this is hitting up against that. It's so interesting too because October is asking us all to work in a different way than we normally work. All of us, all the signs are being asked to work in a modality that maybe isn't their normal modality. Now you guys are seekers and searchers, and your curiosity is one of your best qualities. I love that about you. You're always seeking out information and knowledge, and you are intrepid in your search for that knowledge, and it is a beautiful thing to see. But the note that came up for me this month was waking up brave every single day. That came up for some reason. And then also sometimes not having answers is what we need in order to move forward into the next phase of our lives. Sometimes more information is not better. And I feel like there is a part of you this month that's not going to get the information you think you need. We have Venus retrograde in Scorpio, in your sixth house of how you take care of yourself. And eventually in November, it's going to retrograde back into Libra, your fifth house, your sister sign of Libra, your air sign. So we have to slow down a bit and check in a bit and focus in a bit. You have a new moon in your fifth house in Libra on the 9th, and that is harmonious with your heart. Knight of Swords, there you are. Waking up ready to go out there in the world every day. We have a full moon in your 12th house in Taurus on the 24th. These are pretty heavy-hitting moons because you have one that is working, that new moon is working with your heart chakra and your creativity and where you want to put your foot next. And that full moon is working with your spiritual secret hidden house. And we have a Venus retrograde in your sixth house of how you take care of your body, 8 of Pentacles. There is an earnestness to this Venus retrograde. I have to say that initially I was thinking, as I've been feeling through this energy, I was thinking that the Venus retrograde in Scorpio is going to be really kind of dramatic almost. But I'm realizing now there is a very real desire to find answers, to get information, to show up and do the work. Now, in your case, 8 of Cups, there is this blind searching that is starting to happen with you, Magician. And I think you think you're blind right now, and your hands are tied, at least this month. Knight of Wands, wow, you have a lot of active movement here. But you're not. You're not actually blind. Your hands aren't tied. There is an opening. There is a freshness coming in. But Temperance and Empress came out. But you're going to have to trust the not having answers a little bit more than I think you are comfortable with. You're going to have to trust in the fact that you can handle it and that you have this covered, and it's going to be a little scary at times to trust that. Not because 5 of Wands, not because things are happening that are awful on the surface. Maybe some of you are going through some big transitions, admittedly. This time of year is pretty intense for Gemini, I think. Not because things are going awry in your surface world. This is very internal. This is very internal energy. This is very deep energy. And often we find the blindness inside. People don't even know that you guys are blind, that you feel blind, that you feel uncertain. But sometimes when we have more information, it actually doesn't help us. There's this logic that, our destinies are supposed to be something that we look back and understand. And Amy Purdy, who's this amazing Paralympian, always says, it will make sense in the end. Won't make sense in the middle, it will make sense in the end. And so we have to trust while we're in the storm. Now, as I look at these energies for you, I see an interesting transformation happening. And it is transformational energy that we are working with here. You are having to be tenacious and intrepid with using your curiosity in a new way, which is one of digging into this unknown. Because I have a feeling you're stepping up to the edge of an unknown. Aren't we always? But sometimes we really feel that there is this sense of, I've pushed all the way through to here, now what? Let's look at these first 4 cards. Oops, that goes first. Knight of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups, and Magician. There is so much dang commitment here to you figuring this puzzle out in these first 4 cards. There is just this relentless, I'm going to figure this out, which once again, I love your curiosity. I love that you are committed to kind of continuing to ask questions, continuing to learn things, continuing to seek things out. There's that Knight of Swords energy. Now this energy can be a little impatient. It can be a little hungry to get things quickly and under whatever circumstances. So one thing to keep in mind with a Venus retrograde, it's hitting everybody, right? Everybody's chart, everybody's life. We feel this energy. We're all integrating. We're all going in and doing some work. I'm sitting outside and the wind is blowing, so if you hear weird things, that's why. We're all doing that internal work. If this is not a time to push, and in fact, what that Knight of Swords is telling me is you may feel like this, like I'm going to make things happen. Okay, it's been a little bit crazy this year, but I'm just going to make things happen. I'm just going to dive in there and make some wild decisions. What these cards are telling me, though, especially these 2 right here, is to go about this a different way. 8 of Pentacles is, getting your stuff done, right? It's focused. It's like kind of keeping your nose to the grindstone a little bit, but doing it very skillfully. It's not about just slugging along. It's about showing up very deliberately to the mundane and to the daily and to what you are working toward. But it takes its time progressively to get there. This is the apprentice turning into the master. An apprentice takes years and years of slow, steady, painstaking skill to build to the next level. They don't make a lot of external noise. They focus on the work they're doing. So you're being asked to do that. And you're also being asked to go into the unknown. The 8 of Cups is about leaving behind a past hurt. Venus retrograde is definitely working with us to make sure that we are leaving behind any old wounds, any old haunts, any old griefs, any old ways of loving, any old ways of living. But the biggest point about 8 of Cups is that willingness to go into a complete unknown without all the information, just knowing you have to go. So as you can see, there's this quiet, subtle internal energy and this other energy that's like you have to listen in, not with that quick wit and all the questions, but with a little bit more of this unknown energy. And as you soften and relax into that, and you're not putting so much pressure on yourself to be actively this Knight of Swords all the time, what happens is something very magical. Appropriately enough, the Magician. Magician, Major Arcana energy. This is manifestation energy, right? But even more than that, the Magician is an agent of surprise and change. This is that whole adage that is thrown out there that the universe will give you what you want in better ways than your logical mind could ever produce for you. Now, of course, the Magician is tied to Gemini. Magician is very tied to Mercury, to the messenger, to that moving, fast energy. You have a connection to the Magician just naturally in your energetic way. But it's so funny because the only way you can connect in with the Magician is to focus in a different way than maybe you've gotten accustomed to in like survival and just like grinding through the, I'm just going to make this stuff happen, whether or not I'm feeling good or not, whether or not I'm connected in or not. And there's something about you not needing to have all the answers in order for things to come together. You don't need to be pushing through so hard on yourself all the time. And the second half of this month tells me the same story because we have the Knight of Wands, the Temperance, the Empress, and the Five of Wands. Deep healing going on here. So you got some fire energy around you for sure. Knight of Wands, Temperance, Five of Wands, that's fiery energy. That's active energy. It's very much like wanting to engage and get things done energy. It can be kind of intense. Once again, you have another Knight here. So you may have people also pushing on you, pushing at you for answers, for needs. You may have circumstances that feel like you need to answer these questions like yesterday. And yet there's this thing going on this month where it's like you can make decisions, you can build things. There are good things around you. You have beautiful major arcana energy here, Gemini. You have things developing, but it's not based on you needing to be in this rush all the time. So if you have people trying to rush you, if you have situations trying to rush you, be aware that you don't have to do it that way. Because the thing is, with those Knights, they are hungry for the next thing, but they sometimes gallop over their own well-being. They trip up and fly over the horse and fall down. And you're being asked to do something a little different this month. So Temperance, this is associated with Sag, your opposite energy. And in fact, by the end of the month, your ruling planet Mercury will be going into Sagittarius, which is a very reflective time when you have your opposite energy lit up like that. So November will be setting up for a very interesting time for Gemini. But these energies here are very healing. They're very healing. They're very full of grace and remembering who you truly are. That sounds really cheesy, I know. But we forget. We forget that we are held by a much bigger consciousness. And that's when we get into this mode where we have to answer to people, and people want quick answers, and we want quick answers, and we want to move around, and we want to get everything moving. And we forget that the calibration and the knowledge comes from something that our conscious mind can't quite construct. It's like that thing where when you are living your life, you're going through things, you can almost see it out of the corner of your eye. It's in your peripheral vision. You can almost feel it. You can feel it when you're not just consciously focused on it, and it's there and you know it's there. But if you tried to stare at it, it would vanish because your conscious mind just can't comprehend it. That's why I'm saying this month is a little bit about the upside down. It's a little bit about working in a way, and not upside down like Stranger Things, by the way. We're not going there. There's a different way that you're being asked to connect with, because you have some chaos around you. I mean, Five of Wands there at the end. You've got these Knights, you've got these Wands, you've got competition, you've got things edging at you. I think you have things kind of pushing at you. You feel like you need to have your life figured out this month, because this time of year, we're getting close to the end of 2018. The seasons have changed. We're thinking about what we want to do when the new year starts, how much time we have left. We only have a number of weeks left. I should have this figured out. I can't believe it's this time of year. I should already have this all answered. And you got this rushed energy outside of you. However, inside of you, your soul is talking to you. It wants you to connect in with some abundance, but you can't access this information if you're pushing yourself really hard all the time. This information does not like to be pushed or rushed. This is very old, wise energy. This is very old, wise energy. This is ancient energy. It moves like a tortoise. But in soul time, it's fast. Our conscious mind time, it feels like, what are you doing? But this is very old, ancient energy knowledge, and it does not play by earth rules. So these are abundance cards. These are connection, relationship cards. These are success cards. They really are. But they come from this place of grace and quiet and calm and self-love and being willing to kind of go in here, and very courageously so. I mean, that's the thing. It takes a certain amount of courage to realize you have to go on a foggy internal journey and participate in it and be there with it through all its phases and what it's going to open up for you, and to know that you're going to have to do that for a number of days or weeks before you get all the information you need. You guys are brave, you're intrepid, you're tenacious. Those are the words that I've been really tapping in for, especially for you. I'm going to pull a final card from my Cosmic Tarot for this conversation today. You have such good energy coming your way. Magician, Temperance, Empress, that is beautiful. Don't let pressure from yourself or others push you to make hasty decisions this month. That is the biggest practical note I can give you. That is the biggest practical note I can give you, and that you're not going to get all your answers this month. You're not supposed to. If you had all that information, it would be too much for you. Four of Swords, that is pretty perfect. It's exactly what I was just saying. Four of Swords is an integration rest energy, and it's a mental rest energy. Your conscious mind is not going to give you much information this month. That it's coming through in a completely different fashion. And I know those of you watching out there probably already know all about this and have been connecting in with this for a long time. But I'm giving you the heads up that even more than ever, this month is really, truly a time to integrate and to be brave enough to go into the fog full force. Don't just give in to the next quick answer, because it's short-lived. Those quick answers are going to be short-lived, which is okay. You can try it out. I mean, there's no messing up. You need to find out. But if you want to really find out, listen in. I love you guys so much. I'm sending a lot of love to my Geminis out there. I have a couple of them that are going through a pretty heavy time right now, and I just love you so much, and I hope you know that. I'm here for you. Breaks my heart when my Geminis aren't feeling good. It breaks my heart because you guys are like buoys to my spirit, and you've helped me through so much. So I love you guys so much. Connect with me on my website at SARAHTAROT.com or on Instagram at the Sarah Tarot. I would love to see you there. I'll put all my info in the description box if you want to work with me or connect with me. Let me know. I'm also wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry. As always, 15% off. Check her out. Connect with her. She's amazing. One of my dearest friends. I love you guys so much. Hang in there. It's going to be beautiful. I promise.